Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you a little insight into some of my sculpture work again. It's basically an idea I've had rattling around in my head. I think it was around about October time I had this idea of casting wood within plaster because it was such a really nice contrast. So this is a cast from a bit of a rotten wood. I actually have the video on my channel, so I'll link all the videos down below of all the kind of sculpture bits I've done this year. In terms of trying to get the ideas out this year, because this is the first year out of university, it has been very hard in terms of trying to know what is a good idea and what is more of like a concept or contemporary art. Been loads of ideas, it's just whittling down and deciding which ones are actually the best to go forward with. Casting wood in solid square blocks, which again I like these from the Size Matters, really made that idea possible. I really like the size of it, but I was like, well, maybe I should elongate it and maybe I should make more than one, you know, more than 3, more than 5, more than 10, more than 20 to make kind of a installation kind of sculpture. I did think about size and maybe saying, oh, just one big one, but in terms of practicality and where I am, I don't think it's practical for me to do it, so the multiple kind of side of it is more a possibility. There will be a couple that are going to be full and not have like any like wood taken out of, so I'm going to be making them today. You'll see they're basically like solid form, so solid plaster. This box, as you can tell, is handmade. I've literally just done measurement of 5 centimeters here, 5 by 5 centimeters, so square, and by 15 because I feel like that's kind of a good size. I'm using my Perspex board because I find that if the plaster does leak, it's very easy to clean off. Afterwards I literally just wait for it to dry and then just pick it off, because something about the material of the Perspex just doesn't let it set. That's why I like to do my acrylic pours onto here as well, because as you can see it's up here. Just easily peel it off. I would have actually done this outside, but it's a miserable day as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions during you're watching this video or after this video, please comment down below, because I'm very open to. I like answering questions because it's like rattling my brain basically. So I'm only going to be doing one of these today, but I'll be showing you the final outcome of my brain and what it's thinking that I want it to do. So this is very, very fine plaster, so I just kind of put it in the water like that. It is best to break it up just because you don't want any lumps, and then that sets quicker than the rest of it and it just gets a bit funny and weird. This is actually a box from when we have Chinese takeaway at the house, so never waste what people give you, eh? When it gets to the point you get like kind of the lumps, I just take a pencil that you're not really using and just kind of give it a mixture, just to make sure there's no lumps and bumps, because that's the worst thing in the world. And just keep on going. If any of you are asthmatic, I would suggest wearing a mask and keeping the room ventilated if you are doing it inside. I'm not asthmatic, so I can pretty much do this like this, but obviously I would suggest that you do either do this outside or keep the room ventilated, just because it is a bit dusty plaster. And also wear eye protection. I've got my glasses on right now, so just in case it does flick up or decide to do something that it doesn't want to do. Okay. I was just checking because I saw like a crease there, and it's just the board. So with the first layer, I like to make the mixture a little bit thicker than usual, just to make it set a bit more quicker, because obviously the first layer you'll be able to tell where it's been leaking. So I'm putting the plaster on, there's a bit more of setting. It's not really soaking up as it was at the very start. If you do have some sort of clay or terracotta clay, that is ideal to use for preventing leakages. But obviously if you make your box right, like see like that, that's just setting on top, it's not absorbing as much, which means there's a lot of less water and a lot more pigment of the plaster in the mixture. With these kind of boxes, you can only use these once because they are cardboard, and obviously this will have water in it, so it will mean as soon as it's set and dry, when you take it out, it will just turn to mulch and you can't really use it, which is a shame. But then again, it is a box that is really easy to make. It's literally just, like I said, cardboard and a bit of tape as well. I think after this part I can probably start pouring it in, because look at that. Kind of looks like islands. The plaster I'm using is just simple plaster from Amazon. It's this stuff, it's just a kilogram. I think it was about £5 worth. It's not the best kind of casting plaster if you want to make a really professional finish, but for me it does the job, honestly. It's either this or buying a 25 kilo bag, which is about 20 quid. So if you do it slowly, it might begin to set by itself. And there you go, that's a bit of leakage, which is not the end of the world, because as we're talking now it's setting. So what you need to get is, I have some terracotta clay. It's really cheap and nasty stuff, but it does the job in terms of sealing up an area. So, sorry about my hair, by the way. I just kind of squish it in the corner. It just slows the process down with leakage. It will still leak a little bit, but again it will just kind of sort itself out. You can obviously put the terracotta clay on the edges where you think it's going to leak most likely before you start pouring in, but I find it a lot more fun this way. Obviously you can do a bit more taping up if you really want to. Box. Cool. So obviously you can see in here a bit of the plaster starting to set, so you literally just get your mixing thing and just pour out. Mixing, well, pencil in my case. A true professional tool. Multi-purpose tool, that's the one. You can write and you can also pour out plaster inside it. Okay, that's round one. So whilst that is setting, it will start to stop pouring out obviously this side because it's starting to set. Duh. And then we're going to do the next layer. So obviously that layer did more than half, so I'm going to need less water. You need to make sure you do pour and complete your box within a good time, because otherwise you'll get the layers where you can see one layer's dried and you just kind of pour it on top. So once again, I need about the same amount of water, so yeah, I'm just going to have to pour this in because something's leaking. perfect. I don't see any cracks on the thing, so I don't know what that was about. How strange. Okay, there's a little bit of water still on the top, so what I'm going to do to solve this is just sprinkle a bit of the powder on top, just to try and absorb some bits. And a little bit of extra protection, I just kind of want to put this against this. You may have noticed that it's kind of bulking out a little bit. Just put the terracotta in for a bit of weight. There we go. So I will get back to you after this is dry, because it's probably going to take roughly at most an hour. I just say roughly just because it can take a little bit longer depending on how much water is in it. So yeah, I'll see you